Good morning everybody and welcome to House and Garden Flipper episode 47. Today what we're going to do is head out and we're heading into our office. We're going to check out the garden because I'm a bit tired of looking at it this way. Sorry, my mind lost complete track there for a tick. Traditional garden looks out of place in a traditional gazebo looks out of place in a modern garden. It's something to remember if you're doing modern gardens. So one of the things we just did was we did this garden where we cleaned things up over for a flooded garden commission, and I noticed when I was there that they did some interesting things with flowers, and I figured, I always forget to remove the graffiti, that I'm a little bit tired of the way the office looks with this nice interior but this dreadful garden. So what I thought I might do for a start is just tidy up the garden, because then I can say to clients, see, this garden doesn't look so bad, and it was an absolute bomb site when we got it. So most of these pretty flowers that we're walking through are weeds. Alright, I think I've actually got all of the rubbish. The weeds are going to drive me crackers too, so we might as well get rid of them. Goodbye daisies, goodbye blue. Is that lupus of some kind? I don't know. So I figured what I might do is just tidy up this garden so that I don't wince every time I open up the game and head into the office, because it's just not a lot of fun. And yes, I'm doing this by hand. I probably could use the whippersnipper, or what do you guys call it, the weed whacker, to get rid of the weeds. Real life I wouldn't, because I want to rip them out by their roots so they don't come back. Game wise, there's something really satisfying about ripping them up once by one, but more than that, it's actually takes less time to just tap once on the left mouse button to get rid of them than it does to wave the weed whacker up and down. And theoretically, while I could use the mower, there are enough trees in this garden that using the mower is going to be problematic. So I'm just going to waltz around with my mouse button and deal with the weeds as I come across them. If you look at the mini map, you'll notice that the weed markers are vanishing. That's one of the perks you can get as you advance your skills in gardening. So we should have those pretty much up to date now, but you can now see all weeds in the mini-map. Makes your life a lot easier when you're trying to complete a commission with 100% accuracy. I've walked right past one. There it is. But it also, makes it a little easier to get rid of these suckers when you're working through. So what I'm thinking of doing for this garden is I was actually torn between an English garden and a traditional, somewhere around here, there we go, an English garden and a traditional, not a traditional, a functional garden where you have a veggie patch and that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is combine it. I have no idea how that's going to work. Alright, there's a weed somewhere in there. Oh, there it is. Okay. So first things first, we've gotten rid of all the paint on the fences. And now what we're doing is just getting rid of the weeds and the rubbish. There it is, driving me nuts. Okay, that's going to be a cell key. I used to think there was a skill where you could just get rid of, all the trash in range. That's right. I don't seem to have unlocked it. So each of these little bottles and cans has to be picked up all by itself, which is a bit of a menace, really. Alrighty, let's get that lot done. Okay. And that one. Alright, little board of weeds hiding in the grass. And a second one. Let's just get rid of as many of these as we can, as quickly as we can. Someone had a right royal party in here, look at this. Junk everywhere. But not for long. And we need a shovel for that lot. And we'll get rid of that lot. Just zish through here, get rid of that lot. Looks a bit better already. Honestly, might as well get rid of this. Now, what I'm doing is I'm keeping this tiny little office as my home office because it's tiny. And it probably won't make back what I spend on the garden. And it suits me to a T anyway. But coming into it every day and just seeing the absolute abomination that the yard was just starting to really drive me nuts. So we've gotten rid of it, or I'm getting rid of the mess. Today we're just going to get rid of all of this. We probably need to whip a slip around the trees so I can put gardens down. But what I thought of with the flooded garden is they were using these flowers just around the base of the tree, and I thought that might look pretty nice. Oh my goodness, I have a forest of weeds. Alright, well, that's easy enough dealt with. Let's get rid of it. All done. And let's see how that goes. Okay. E for your shovel. Make it light up blue, and you should be able to clear even that little separate bit off to one side. Shouldn't take us too long. So I'm also experimenting with settings for streaming, whether or not a delayed setting for time will actually means it runs now and releases later. Some aspect of this I'm still learning. Again, you can have rubbish underneath your dirt piles. So when you're doing a commission that requires you to clear rubbish, and you've got dirt piles, sometimes you need to switch tasks and clear the dirt piles in order to reveal the rubbish, like that. Which is a bit sneaky really when you think about it. Okay. Okay, there we go. All of that's done, and all of that. Okay. Oh, that looks a lot better. That's just not going to make me want to cry every time I look at it. Looks like I've missed a bit of dirt on the house. Okay. So what's happened here is I've actually put cladding on the house before I hosed it down. So now I had to guess where the dirt was, because it hides quite well. There's a weed there. Okay. Alright, and it looks like I've missed a bunch of them over here. So all I'm really doing is just checking out the mini map so that I can hunt down my weed patches. Back it up, there it is. Because they're almost impossible to see with the naked eye. There it is. Alright, that looks like we've got cheeky. Pretty much everything done here that we need to get done. I did go nuts with the lawnmower out here, so this patch is quite tidy. Oh, we have daisies in the long grass. Down that way. There it is there. And there it is there. Okay, those we can see, they're easy enough to find. That one not so much. And we're almost done. Pretty much got that lot done. I've missed one. Where is it? There it is. And got all of that done. And we'll just get rid of this lot here. In case you're wondering, yes, I do have a book to write. I'm just trying to unknot a plot. So straight after this, I'll be hitting the roads. Alright, that's all done there. Just going to grab my weed whacker. And head into here. I am half tempted just to get the mower and run with it. Running with mowers, that can't be any worse than running with scissors, right? Nothing can go wrong with that. Okay. Get that done in there. So if you're having a look at the mini-map now, you should be able to see that there are light green and dark green patches. The light green being the patches that we've mowed satisfactorily, and the dark green being the patches that we haven't. The circles are the trees. I am going to try and get a mower through here, so that should be exciting. Get that done. Okay. Missed one. The other thing that I remember is to do along the fence line, because the mower won't get close enough to give us a nice clean fence line. Oh, there's a fence. And as we go this way, somewhere over here. Oh, there they are. I was going to say, there's a tree somewhere around here that I want to mow around with my Whippersnipper, so we'll get there. It's my Bushmaster 94. I keep worrying that I'm ring barking the trees, but that's okay, I'm not. There we go. Okay. You know, right? Someone thought it was a good idea to give me a weed whacker license. Yeah. Last time I'll make that mistake. Okay, that's done. Alright, it's time to see what damage we can do with the mower. Let's just move this one over here, we'll dump it down. Using my ASD keys because nothing can go wrong with letting me drive one of these things, right? Oops, I forgot to weed back this bush. That's alright, we'll get to that in a minute. And then we might try some drifting along the top. Mowing with trees, it's kind of like dancing with wolves, but not quite as bitey. See how this goes. That one. I wasn't going to mow, I was just going to put the flowers in, but then I realised that if I just put the flowers in, once I started mowing, disaster was going to strike because the way I mowed, there was no way those flowers were going to be there when I finished. Real life, whole other story. The flowers would have been perfectly safe, but when it comes to keyboarding, my steering skills leave a little bit to be desired. Oops. I'm driving like a drunken monkey again. Okay, nearly done. Okay, we're not nearly done. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to try and drift the mower, oops, along the top, which I'm not succeeding in doing at all. That's alright, fine. There we go. See, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the mower, there's only something wrong with the driver. Alright, let's steer this thing straight. I'm so used to steering by mouse that when it comes to this WASD steering, I'm a little bit hopeless. Alright, sometimes I'm a lot hopeless, but anyway, moving right along. And for the bit that I missed. Okay. And then, yeah, nearly there. Yeah, nearly there this time. Well, we would be nearly there if I could actually hit the grass I was aiming at. It's not like it's moving. But curious, yes I am sober. we go. Nearly done. The award for most inefficient mowing style goes to a here. Basically with your mowing, as you know, it's WASD key steering, and then it's hit the left mouse button down to mow the lawn, because there's nothing more disturbing than to have mown the lawn beautifully with your WASD steering and then realise you've forgotten to hold the shift key or the left mouse button down and you've left the grass behind you, still standing totally unscathed. Oh, lovely. This is almost livable with now. Look at that. Mind you, it does look like a mad barber's had a go at the lawn. And we're nearly there. No! Almost there. Check it out. Okay. Alright, so the rest of the lawn is really going to have to be done with the snipper, which isn't too bad, given that involves walking in a straight line, and I can actually do that. Especially when there's a wheel involved. Here we go. So we'll just very quickly tidy up around here, because this is where we'll be wanting to put our flowers. There, and we'll get that bit done as well. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but close to is pretty good. I can't sprint with the river snipper. I just tried. I'll just very quickly run along the fence line. Okay. So what we're going to do is a utilitarian garden with touches of English garden in it. So I really want to keep all of these trees, and I'm going to make them islands of flowers because it'll be fun. So for that I'm going to need some taller plants in the center and shorter plants on the outside. We're just going to go with the traditional kind of little islands of green. If I remember correctly, Flooded Garden used salvia, but they also used rebus. So what we'll do is we'll go into plants and we'll go into flower beds. I like Astilbe too, it's kind of cool. And iris is pretty good. We need that for a fairly wet lawn though. So I guess what we're going to have a look at first is what sort of theme we're going to put in our garden. Ooh, I don't remember there being lilac before. Oleander's poisonous. If you have honeybees, it's not a good choice. Lilac, rose bushes. Rose bushes are pretty cool. Alright. I love lavender. Lavender in all its forms is gorgeous, but that's just my personal preference. Is that... I could put vines on my cottage. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to mix our lavender with our rebus. So lavender's about this tall. Rebus comes in decorations. I like the red flowers, they're bright. And it's probably... Alright, let's just make our little island happen. Over that way. I like the idea of there being a secret way behind the shed. Can't put it down till it flashes green. There we go. It'll do for there. We're going to stick to the same theme of planting throughout the garden. And just back it up a little bit. Just going to watch my budget a bit better than I did last time, because in this case I am actually not going to get my money back because I'm keeping the office as it is. I should probably consider turfing that entire area before I go too much further, but given I wouldn't want to turf over my gardens anyway, I'm not going to. Just going to pop all of those in to give a little bit of height when it comes to the trees. We're going to keep it fairly without a lot of biodiversity, so fairly monoplanty just to start with. And then I think what we might do, because we're at the 27-minute mark, is we might call it a day once we get these placed. And that'll give me a starting point for tomorrow. But tomorrow, or the next episode, depending on how I feel, we're going to actually look at doing the start of the kindergarten mission, or possibly tidy up the house that we're going to try and flip for the student. And if I recall correctly, he was devilish hard to actually get to the top of the buyers list, so I don't know how I'm going to do that. Alright, I did forget to whippersnip around this tree, but it looks like we got most of it anyway. Okay, that's done. Alright, so that, with all of our new planting, is going to be where we leave it. I am just going to bring it round so we get a bit of a view of the house through trees. That will do. Maybe. Oh, we'll try that angle as well. Alright, and that's where we're going to leave it for today. Tomorrow, or next episode, we are going to take a look at the house after the flood, have a look at some of the cleaning up that needs to be done there. We're also going to go and have a look at the next mission, which was the kindergarten, because we skipped it because I thought the next job was smaller. My mistake. And we'll just see how that goes. And on that note, I'll leave you. Thanks for hanging with me, guys, and I'll catch you all later. If you like the video, please hit like, and if you want to see more content, please hit subscribe. Other than that, I'll see you all tomorrow.